Mr. Chairman, I just would like to begin with a bit of pushback on some of your opening comments. With regards to the statements you made about, Biden, and he just doesn't get it. We've heard that you all believe that the Department of Education is lax in its enforcement of Section 117. In reality, though it is that the department's most recent data contains tens of thousands of entries from hundreds of colleges and universities, and it seems to me that the department is communicating with colleges and universities about how important it is to report any grants and contracts from foreign sources. In addition, colleges and universities have gotten the message that they are making great strides in reporting this information in accordance with the law. While the prior administration was focused on a few bad actors, this administration is providing guidance and support to colleges and universities to help ensure compliance with the law, which is what everyone wants. Mr. Moore, you said in your testimony, you cited a bipartisan Senate report that 70% of all colleges in U.S. Of all U.S. colleges and universities fail to report. Do you still believe that to be true?
Congressman, that was according to the report from that we.
Okay, so you just are repeating a report that was issued in 2017.
That was in 2020.
2020.
October of 2020. I don't know what the current figures are. I don't have access to those figures.
So in fact, that number could be misleading. It could be out. It could not be accurate. It might not be accurate right now.
I cited the date in my testimony, but it may have changed. Absolutely.
So it could be changed. And that 70%, is that just in reference to reporting on grants and contributions from China, or might other authoritarian nations also be part of a concern of ours?
Many, Congressman. You're right to mention that. And I mentioned in my testimony Russia, Qatar, Saudi Arabia. There are many nations. This isn't an Asian-focused or China-focused concern. This is all the world.
Might it be productive for us to have a hearing not just on China, but on the influence of all malign potential nations out there that are authoritarian and have, might have an interest in influencing our universities?
I think that's a wonderful idea, Congressman.
Great. Mr. Singleton, is this third-party entity loophole only a problem for China, or do other nations potentially contribute or find ways to get money to universities through these mechanisms of third parties?
Sure. I mean, friends and foes alike take advantage of those sorts of loopholes, which is why we should apply the standard evenly across any country.
I'm curious about this sole focus on China of this hearing when we have other authoritarian nations that pose these issues. And mind you, I'm concerned about China's authoritarianism, but I'm also concerned about authoritarianism in general. I'm going to suspect that it has something to do with how the previous administration dealt with China, and I think a very clumsy way. Mr. Chairman, I would seek unanimous consent to enter the record a political article entitled 15 Times Trump Praised China as Coronavirus Was Spreading Across the Globe. And just to give you a flavor, there's 15 entries here from January 22nd through February when the virus was clearly posing a problem, but underappreciated by the president then. He says, one of the great many things about our just signed giant trade deal with China is that it will bring both USA and China closer together in so many ways. Terrific working with President Xi, a man who truly loves his country, and more to come. January 24th, China has been working very hard to contain the virus. The United States greatly appreciates their efforts and transparency. It will all work out well. Goes on and on and on. So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to enter this into the record.
No objection.
Several months later, when it wasn't going so well in the United States to manage it, he starts saying things like Kung flu, the China virus, with tremendous boomerang effects on Asian Americans because as an Asian American, I know what it feels like when one of the Asian ethnicities is singled out for scapegoating, and then there's a generalized hatred that spreads throughout all Asian Americans. So, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to make that point. I yield back.
Thank you so much. I just want to make sure